Michael Zinzun Jr., who was son of the late Michael Zinzun, community activist, revolutionary. My father was born in Chicago. I'm not sure what year he moved to Pasadena, but it was I was born in '68, so he had to move out here. He went to Blair High School. He's one of the first students at Blair when they first opened it up. So he had to be here somewhere around 1965, somewhere thereabouts. I'm not sure. Stepmom knows exactly. His original trade was a mechanic. He had his own shop in Pasadena. And then it was during that time that he had the moment of clarity about the movement of the black people. You know, he was part of the Black Panther Party, which a lot of people misunderstand the motives and objectives of the Black Panther Party. The tenets were that they were about self-governing, black communities self-governing themselves. So they had free lunch programs, they had free clothes giveaways, they monitored the street corners, you know, so that the kids wouldn't get hit on the way to school. And it was just about self-governance and opposed to self-policing. It was about self-governance, you know, black people taking care of themselves. And so when he left the Black Panther Party in '71, he continued with those same principles, and that's what he did all the way up until the day he passed, you know, in 2006. You know, we had a free lunch program. My first job at 14 was a roach program where we sprayed houses in the community for free for roaches. We had free lunch program giveaways. You know, our house was called the Center, PCIC, Pasadena Community Information Center. Our living room was a library. Our house opened up at 11 o'clock. So people come in, we had books, he did activities, you know. They had a work program, summer work program, you know, through the center. And so that's pretty much what he was about. And later on, he established, he also began in the 70s, he had a Citizens Review Board, Coalition for Citizens Review Board, and that was for the citizens, once again, about self-governing. The citizens monitoring the activities of public officials. And instead of them having their own inside reviews of their actions, particularly the police department, you know, and the public officials, you know, whenever they did something that was illegal or against policy, they had their own internal investigations. And the Citizen Review Board was about the citizens doing the investigation to hold them accountable. And from there also he had Coalition Against Police Abuse. He began that program there because of the widespread violence against black people in the community by the police. And which is one of the reasons, same thing with the Black Panther Party, which is one of the reasons why he was so animated about self-governing. You know, we govern ourselves when we have to worry about outside forces, you know, imposing their authority or power on us. And so that's what he was about. And so Coalition Against Police Abuse, he helped a lot of people, you know, as far as get justice through legal means, you know. And if they didn't want to respond responsibly to the legal process, then that's where they had the demonstrations and rallies. And we had the same number for years. I remember. Matter of fact, just recently that number got disconnected, the 684-1892 number. So he's been doing that for a long time. His passion was for the people, you know, and that's where he got the, you know, where they say all power to the people. Because it's about us taking our own destiny into our own hands, you know. That's what it's about. And So that's what it's about. In 2006, he passed away. They were still in Pasadena, and his wife is still alive. Florence is still alive today, and his legacy lived on. His legacy lived on. You can always find articles about his accolades. In his later years, he did more speaking. All throughout the world. He was in not Kenya. He was in I can't think of the country. He was in there when they had their first elections. He was there. He was there in Haiti when they had that revolution there. He was there. He just went around the country from Africa to Europe speaking, on the awareness of of the condition of American black people. And I don't know if it's improved or not, but I know he had a big impact. He definitely his biggest impact was raising awareness. To be conscious of it. He was part of the gang troops. I remember him printing up the T-shirts, for the gang troops, and he held a rally, where they had the different gangs there in Pasadena at the Jackie Robinson Park. So he made a big contribution. His writings, were very informative and very thought-provoking. Being one of his children, he always kept us thinking and conscious of our condition and the condition of the community, And so, I attribute a lot of my awareness and consciousness of that to him, and that of my brothers and sisters. If you talk to them, you can hear the conscious level, in all of us, and that was a good thing to get, to pass on. He lost an eye, in his battle against police abuse. In 1986, there was I remember I was sitting in the car with a friend of mine, and there was a cry for help coming out of the community arms. And it reached past our ears to my father's ears. He was in the house on the couch, and while we were up to the gate, I can see the police, physically manhandling this guy, and then I can remember his legs flying in the air, and I remember by the time they pulled out their batons and stuff, my father just kind of appeared, from behind me, because he was further away than we were, and so he got there a few minutes later. And so, true to form, his goal was not so much to attack the police, but to hold them accountable, so to let everybody see exactly what goes on. So I remember they wanted to drag the guy they were beating back into the parking lot, and this at night. And he was telling them, you're not gonna drag him. And I remember him, rallying the community there. Everybody just watch. Anybody approach, just everybody watch. Don't let them take him back there. Just watch him. And I remember the police getting nervous. And I remember that one guy. I think he's still on the force too. He got suspended, or he got let go, and they brought him back. And but anyway, I remember him pulling the gun. I remember him pulling the gun and pointing the gun at my father because he was nervous. And I remember my father looking him in the eye and saying, "We're not afraid of your guns." And everybody, the community at that moment, you can see the unity in that. Though this police officer had his pistol drawn, he's sweating, he's nervous, so he's subject to make a mistake at any time. And but thank God nothing happened that night. He never did pull the trigger. And that man walked out the front gate. They never took him to the back because they saw that would have been one of the gravest mistakes, And so they wound up taking him out the front gate that day, But it didn't stop there when all the other police came, and then it got kind of riotous on the police part, and ultimately that's where they got him confined in that same parking lot that he prevented them from taking that guy. They got him confined in there, and that's how they tried to kill him. That's how he lost his eye, the sight in his left eye. They beat him pretty bad, and then ultimately there was a lawsuit and charges filed against those officers. But that's just an example of the courage that it took, that was required and that he had, to stand up against the injustices, done by not just the police department, you know what I mean, but the system itself that encouraged those types of people to even be on the police force. A lot of people think that my father hated the police, and that's such a big misunderstanding, because he didn't hate the police. He hated the abuse of authority, the slave master mentality, that the police force attracted. Those are the type of officers that were coming on, you know what I mean? And so you can see why he wouldn't have wanted those type of, and nobody else should want those type of people policing and governing the black community. So that was really something to see, the way he stood up and rallied the community to stand up.